Welcome back, dear viewers. It's still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV, and from a very special place in Cairo, from the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir, we bring you this very special episode of Nile Cruise. Dear viewers, the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir organizes educational programs for children that turn the museum's priceless artifacts into a part of the school curriculum. Groups of 5 to 10 children from primary and middle school are able to explore and learn all about Egypt's ancient history in true archaeological fashion. And to know more about this context, dear viewers, we have with us today from this very special place a very special guest. We have with us, we're hosting Sherine Amin, who is in charge of the Children's Museum at the Egyptian Museum. A very good day, Ms. Sherine, and it's a pleasure to have you with us in today's episode of Nile Cruise.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm.
Dr. Sherine, celebrating the 120th anniversary of the Egyptian Museum, launches educational and art activities for children. Would you tell us more about these activities?
Actually, we are presenting different activities at the museum, and these activities are targeting different ages, starting from 5 years old till secondary school. And we have 4 types of programs. The first is the summer program, the second one is the family program, and the third one is the joint program in cooperation with different NGOs in Egypt. And we have the school programs as well. And actually, we are presenting the activities inside the Egyptian Museum galleries and other activities inside the Children's Museum. Let me talk a little bit about the Children's Museum. The Children's Museum is a special exhibition at the Egyptian Museum here in Cairo, made of Lego. About 6 halls present ancient Egypt with Lego. So we have educational models that aim to attract the children's attention. And now this museum is under renovation, and we are working to maintain the object inside. And we are now conducting our educational activities inside the galleries of the Egyptian Museum. Targeting different ages, as I told you. And in celebration of 200 of Egyptology, we have special programs applied on our new display at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, and focusing on the different topics related to ancient Egyptian civilization, and especially the new display in the Old Kingdom section at the museum, and in the Greek-Roman gallery at the Egyptian Museum that we are in right now, the Gallery 49 and Gallery 50.
Dr. Sherine, how can children participate in these educational and art programs?
They can follow us on the official website of the museum, all these announcements of the programs on that website. And actually, the schools can participate in our programs as well by contacting the public relation office of the museum. And they can book with us and participate in our programs. And we have a schedule, so we are working on that schedule with the schools through following the website and the public relation office of the Egyptian Museum.
The name of the website, please?
The Egyptian Museum in Cairo, and we have the official Facebook page and Twitter account of the Egyptian Museum as well, the Egyptian Museum in Cairo in Tahrir Square.
Doctor, are these programs the first to be organized? If not, when and why were these programs launched?
Actually, these programs were historical programs. It's starting from 1995, but we add more programs today. Of course, related to our new display, related to different topics of ancient Egyptian history. But these programs started from 1995, where the education department at the museum, and you have a special education department as well for people with special needs, and for blind children as well. So we are targeting different branches of the Egyptian community, and we are presenting all these programs for free. And now we add more categories of the programs to our schedule right now.
Dr. Sherine, you mentioned that you add more activities or more special activities for the children. What are the other children activities in the museum that you offer the children nowadays?
So let me talk about the first program, Learning English and French with Ancient Egyptian Artifacts, a special program for the children, and focus on learning the basics of the English language and the French language, and linking them with the museum objects. And we have another program focusing on mummification in ancient Egypt, learning different aspects of materials used during mummification process. And in this program is the joint program in cooperation with the restoration department at the Egyptian Museum, where they prepare the material used during mummification process, where the children can smell and touch these materials and interact with the replica mummy of King Tutankhamun, one of our educational models at the Children's Museum. We have another program teaching them art, the basic of drawings, and of course inspired by the ancient Egyptian art. And we have a special program linked with the school curriculum. And this is agreed with the schools to link the museum object with the school curriculum as well. So different program at the museum, and we are trying to meet the needs of our visitor. We are trying to meet the needs of our children. So for that, we're teaching them English and French for 5 years old to attract the mother to bring their children to come to the Egyptian Museum.
What is the suitable age for these activities, or are the activities varying according to the children's age?
We are working from 5 years old to secondary school, and we have a special program actually for old people, because we have another department at the museum working on a community engagement, and they go to the NGOs and go outside the museum, outside the border of the museum, and present the workshop there. And all this announcement, as I told you, on the official website of the Egyptian Museum.
Dr. Sherine, brainstorming a little bit and going out of the box, what do children learn from the museums? Of course, they learn about the ancient Egyptians, they learn about the Egyptian artifacts, they learn about Egyptology and archaeology, they learn all of this. How does this add to these children in the future when they grow up and they come to represent their country everywhere, all around the world?
Actually, at the value. They learn the value of the object, learn what behind the object. You're not just learning the history of ancient Egypt, they learn the value of the object and how they can preserve it in the future. Actually, we have a special programs is called You Are the Egyptian Ambassadors. We are preparing our children to deliver the information about the ancient Egyptian history for the tourists. So it's one of our new programs here, and we're trying to reveal the value of the object of the ancient Egyptian history, and different topics of the ancient Egyptian civilization appear inside the object.
So in return, these children will one day be ambassadors to these places here that represent Egypt and represent the Egyptian, of course, archaeology, which is the cradle of civilization. And then they become ambassadors and they know more about it, and they come to do this on the ground, not only learn it and improvise it at school, which makes lots of difference when they see it in real life.
Yes, we did this, and actually we did the trial, and they present the information for some of the tourists about the ancient Egyptian history and the value of the object, and of course talking about the misconception about the ancient Egypt as well, how the Egyptians treat the servants, and what about the size of ancient Egypt, who built the pyramids. So we're trying to deal with the misconception as well during our programs.
Oh, this misconception, of course, is dealt with when we come to reality and they see it in real life after learning it in books and studying it by heart. So it's become more, of course, intellectual, more decent for the children. What they see, they learn easier than what they have to improvise.
Yeah, and let me talk a little bit about our recent program. It's the name of the program is Egypt, Me, Greece, and Roman. It was applied here in the gallery according to our new display, and we gave them cards. And these cards was designed by the British Museum in cooperation with our curator here. And inside these cards, we have information about different objects. We just spread these cards to them, and they read the cards and then look after these object and look for this object as well, and then we ask them about what did you know about ancient Egypt, what about this king, or what about this object, and what is the link between Egypt and Greece. We're trying to add more and more educational activities during the programs we are working on.
Dr. Sherine, the role of media in promoting the amazing, of course, intellectual programs that you do for children. Could you tell us more about it?
Actually, our official website of the Egyptian Museum is promoting for our program, and the official website of the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities as well is working to promoting our website. And actually, our Egyptian TV now is promoting our program. So this is the promoting that we need for more school to come to us and visit us and participate in our programs.
How do you view the feedback of the children participating in the program?
We have a special system of evaluation that we applied on our programs, and that evaluation sheet we spread it to the teachers that are with the schools, and of course asked the children who are with us and participating in the programs what the benefits and what the negative that you are see. Some of the children they said I think I can understand this object in a different perspective, so if you present it in a storytelling approach, I think it can be much more interactive. So I think the feedback that we get from our children, we learn from this feedback a lot of aspect that we can apply in our next programs.
Your tips, Doctor, for parents to enjoy the museum activities with their kids?
First, they have to follow up the official website of the museum to see the different programs that we are presenting, and then participate in these programs, and then they can enjoy with their children in the family program presented by the Egyptian Museum.
How would these activities raise children's passion and awareness to learn more about tourism and antiquities in Egypt?
All these activities, of course, directed to different ages, as I told you, and raise their awareness about the importance of heritage and culture of Egypt. So through that, I will give you example. The tour program at the Egyptian Museum that focus on different topics of the ancient Egyptian heritage and the value of ancient Egypt. All the exploring of these topics, of course, raise the children concern about ancient Egypt and concern to deliver this civilization to the tourists who come to us.
Do you believe that these activities can revitalize the internal tourism movement?
I think yes, I do believe in such aspect because we saw the feedback of our program. You are the Egyptian ambassador, and how are the tourists were engaged in this program and listen to the children who present the information about the museum in both English and Arabic as well.
The Ministry of Education seeks to include knowledge and awareness materials within the educational curriculum of the basic education level. How do you view this move? And in your perspective, how will this move affect the children's activities in this museum?
Actually, I think it's a very good movement, and we are working on special programs to link the school curriculum with the object of the museum. So after this movement, we add more programs to link the school curriculum with the object at the Egyptian Museum. Of course, I agreed with the school, and we are working with different schools in Egypt, from different cities in Egypt as well. And as I told you, if they contact the public relation office or follow us on the official website of the museum, they can participate in our programs.
Dr. Sherine, how far will this move affect the behavior of the coming generation towards tourists?
They learn more how to respect the tourists who come to the museum. They learn more the value of the object, and all this, of course, affect the behavior of the children towards our tourists. So more programs affect their behaviors, of course.
Finally, your amazing program, which is of course of vital importance for all children here in Egypt, that you are now activating actually at the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir. Do you do this in other museums all over the country, Egypt?
Yes, the museum that under the authority of the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. There is an education department in every museum and presenting different programs as well, directed to different ages, from the Egyptian, of course, from the children in Islamic Art Museum, in Manial Palace Museum. So here I'm encouraging you to go to see the different activities presented by other museums under the umbrella of the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities.
Dr. Sherine Amin, of course, we are delighted to have you with us in today's episode. You're in charge of the Children's Museum at the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir in Cairo. Thank you very much for this informative interview, Doctor, and I have all the pleasure to be with you always.
Thank you, most welcome, and just come at any time at the Egyptian Museum.
Thank you for your hospitality, Doctor.